the HAWE Tech Podcast.
Hello, and welcome to today's episode of the HAWE Tech Podcast. My name is Ralph, and I'm the Senior Specialist for Sales Enablement at HAWE. My guest today is Marcus. Hello, Marcus.
Hello, Ralph.
And he is from Key Market Management, and he's going to discuss with us a hopefully interesting topic, but it's definitely relevant because we're diving into the electrification of truck-mounted loader cranes. And the specific question that we have for you today, Marcus, is do you know how the electrification of a truck-mounted loader crane could work? So Marcus, why electrify a truck-mounted loader crane? And can you give us a brief overview of the hybrid setup involving diesel engines and for driving and a battery-powered power pack for on-site operations? So tell us more about this, please.
Yeah, no problem. In general, the electrifying a loader truck brings, of course, a much more environmental friendly and efficient machine. So I think this is not to discuss anymore. The hybrid setup has the advantage that we have still the diesel engine and chassis for driving to the workplace, to the site and back, and using the battery-driven power pack for working on site. So it is a very flexible system, and with the advantage that you can operate the machine, the loader crane, on site absolutely emission-free. And emission-free means, of course, CO2 neutral, but also emission-free in regards of noise, vibration. So you have a much more healthy and nice working area.
Yeah, low emissions.
Low emissions, right. And of course, another advantage of the hybrid system is that you build on the relatively cheap diesel truck chassis and not on a complete full electric chassis, which is much more expensive, of course.
And that's what I'd like to go into a little bit more in detail because that's quite interesting. So let's talk more about this cost aspect. You mentioned that the diesel chassis is cheaper than the full electric truck. Can you elaborate a little bit more on the economic considerations and advantages of opting for the hybrid solution?
Yeah, of course, you have to look to the complete system and compare the full electric chassis with loader crane on top and the diesel chassis with, of course, then the need of this battery electric power pack, which also adds some costs. Nevertheless, the complete setup is cheaper, and then it's really the point to look in the work cycle. So what is the driving time, what is the working time, and for machines where you have a lot working time and heavy working operation,
right?
These system, that means battery electric driven loader crane system, makes sense and will become more and more economically over the time.
Okay. Now you touched on it a little bit, but could you give us some real world scenarios, Marcus? What about the case where the truck mounted loader crane needs to travel a long distance, potentially beyond the electric charge of the vehicle, of the electric truck? How would a hybrid system handle such a situation?
Yeah, on the hybrid system, you can always trust on your diesel chassis. So you have the diesel with a well-known range and easy refill it. And it is not only the problem that you perhaps have an operation place which is more far away than your travel distance with a full electric truck. It's also the problem even if you come to the place. When you work there, you work out of the battery of the truck. So you reduce again the distance of the electric truck. And this can become difficult for the operator to really do his job and perhaps go back with the crane home or go to the next site.
Well,
Yeah.
that could be a problem.
So, and even especially if you're not able to charge in this place where you currently work. So with a diesel, you are always able to move from A to B, completely independent with a well-known infrastructure.
Right.
And on site, you work out of the battery with the advantages of zero emission and a nice operation, smooth operation. An important point is, of course, that the operation out of the battery is with the same performance than what you know from the diesel chassis before.
So let's talk a little bit about the power source for the battery, because you mentioned the on-site problems and what can happen there already. Can the battery be charged solely by the diesel engine, or are there other options for connecting it to the power grid, for example, to draw the power that we need?
Yeah, at the end there are three different scenarios. The first one is you charge at home in optimum time. So that means perhaps in the night or in a day over. If you have your own solar power plant, then you take the power from your own solar power. So this is the best point to charge. But also you can charge on site if there is a grid accessible. And then of course you can work out of the battery and charge perhaps only a little bit add-on. That's also the advantage. You are always able to work with full power out of the battery, but you can charge a little bit by the grid. Or last but not least is also a possibility to charge while driving. But I would say that's the
ultimate
the ultimate use and step
Yeah.
and sense, I would say.
Now, can you explain a little bit more about the components that are needed and the design for this battery-driven power pack that you mentioned?
Yeah. There are different designs. Let's start with the biggest unit. This is a full autonomous box where everything is in. It is really plug and play. In the big size box, we have 12 batteries.
Okay.
We have the complete charging infrastructure. We have the DC-DC converter. We have the motor pump unit. We have also the oil tank integrated and the cooling for all the components.
Okay.
So you put this box on the truck, you connect it hydraulically with the crane, and you can work 8 hours, full power. Besides this, we have downsized this box in different sizes, especially when you say, okay, I don't need these 12 batteries. You can reduce the amount of the batteries, and this is, of course, the biggest cost and weight potential.
Right.
And we can divide also this box into 2 boxes, where you say you have 1 box for the battery and 1 box for the hydraulic, depending on the needs of the or how you want to install the system on your machine.
Okay.
The advantage of the big power box is really everything is integrated. It's really plug and play. You put it on your truck, you connect everything, and you can work out of it. And you can also use it for retrofitting.
Okay.
That's also a big advantage, I would say. So it is you have your machines set up there with standard diesel trucks, and for the next jobs inner city or urban areas, you want to work out of with an electric vehicle. So take this power box, put it on the truck, drive to your site, and work out of the battery.
Awesome. Well, that sounds like a really well thought out solution. So thank you for explaining all this. Before we end, I'd like to just sum up a little bit of what you said, so especially for our audience, and you can tell me if I understood everything correctly. So the first point that I heard is that now you can use the loader crane on site without any pollution, which is becoming more and more important. And this is the key to working in urban areas in the future. Second, the hybrid system is cheaper than a full electric truck and more reliable when it comes to the driving range. Range anxiety is always one of those key words people talk about. And last but not least, you can easily retrofit the power box and use these benefits on your existing machines that you already have today.
Right.
Well, that sounds great.
Good
And
summary.
thank you very much, Marcus, for coming and explaining this today. Thank you also to our audience for spending some time with us today and listening to this informative information. If you have any suggestions for future podcasts, please write us at podcast@hawe.de. And I look forward to seeing you next time. From my side, thank you very much and goodbye. And Marcus?
Yeah, thanks Ralf for the time and for the nice talk.
Great.